Good evening. So I've found or I've developed a new kind of liking for newspapers. I've found some interesting bits in newspapers recently. Almost every day I find something interesting, which I don't find on the internet or browsing through Twitter or uh, browsing through Instagram or YouTube or whatever. So I've found this phenomenon interesting, this new liking for newspapers interesting. I see that there are things that are making sense to me, even though I don't rate journalists very highly. I do not rate the way they create headlines out of anything, and the kind of words they use and the kind of logic they use. I do not rate them very highly, but even so, even so, I do find quite a few things that I find in these newspapers interesting. So newspapers are not dead. What did I find today? So this is Gujarati newspaper, and I found this. Can you read it? Is it legible to you, Gujarati? I hope so. Let me just read it out to you. BHU ના શોધકર્તાઓનો 1 વર્ષના અભ્યાસનું તારણ. કોવેક્સિન રસી લેનારાઓ પૈકી 30% લોકોમાં ગંભીર આડઅસરો જોવા મળી. हिंदी में बोले तो BHU के रिसर्चर्स ने 1 साल की स्टडी में से ये कंक्लूड किया कि कोवैक्सीन लेने वालों में से 30% लोगों को सीरियस साइड इफेक्ट्स उनमें देखने को मिला है. ओके, एंड देन दिस आर्टिकल ऑल्सो मेंशंस some study done by Bharat Biotech, which developed Covaxin and distributed Covaxin. And so Bharat Biotech says that no blood clot and such issues are not seen in their studies, and Covaxin is not responsible for those things, whereas BHU says that 30% people have had serious side effects in their studies. Amazing, isn't it? Do you believe this? So if 30% have serious side effects, how many percentage have sort of semi-serious side effects, or 50% serious side effects, or non-serious side effects? Is there anything like non-serious side effects? I don't know, but like 30% is a huge number, by the way, for serious side effects. It is a huge number. So if people are facing certain issues that they were not facing earlier, our amazing vaccine may have played some role. Who knows? It's a serious thing, and I have to say that perhaps this does not include a lot of things yet, right? I mean, these studies may not include a lot of things, and so we do not quite know. So while reading, ever since I've gotten this drift of vaccine hurting people in different ways, it has occurred to me that there needs to be a matchmaking system for people who have not gotten vaccinated, with COVID vaccine in particular. So what I mean to say is that if you are a girl who has not gotten vaccinated with this vaccine, COVID vaccine, experimental COVID vaccine, so would you want to find a guy who's also done the same, which has not gotten himself vaccinated through this experimental COVID vaccine? Right? That match makes more sense than a match in which one is vaccinated with a COVID vaccine and the other is not. There could be some issues. Suppose you plan to have kids may have some issues, some side effects or whatnot, side effects of side effects. So vaccinated can get married with vaccinated, and non-vaccinated can get married with non-vaccinated. Does that make sense? But बट ऐसा लगा मुझे कि इसमें कुछ है, क्योंकि वैक्सीन हैज़ चेंज्ड, different vaccines have done different things, but vaccines have changed something fundamentally internally inside the bodies, which we may know only later, although we've started studying, but we may know only later, or who knows, we may never know. But just as a precaution, or just as something that is wise, a non-vaccinated, I mean, as a wise move, a non-vaccinated getting married to a non-vaccinated person and having non-vaccinated kids, no effects of side effects in the kids, and vaccinated getting vaccinated to produce kind of kids with certain traces and elements of vaccination or side effects, or traces and elements of side effects of vaccination. Does it sound crazy? I mean, all this wording and all these expressions, but I hope you get the idea. I hope you get the idea. This is crazy, but I think there is something there. Let's matchmaking में ध्यान रखना, आप नॉन वैक्सीनेटेड हैं तो नॉन वैक्सीनेटेड से शादी करें, शायद एटलीस्ट हेल्थ वाइज, बच्चों के हेल्थ वाइज, इफ़ यू प्लान टू हैव किड्स, आप खुश रहेंगे, शायद वो इश्यूज फेस ना करना हो, आपको ना करना पड़े आगे जाकर. अगर बच्चों का प्लान है तो मेक्स कंप्लीट सेंस, बच्चों का प्लान नहीं है तो किसी से भी शादी करो, शायद इतना फ़र्क ना पड़े, बट फिर भी पड़े शायद फ़र्क, बिकॉज elements do get exchanged when there is marriage and when there is physical intimacy and all of that. Think about it. What do you think? I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people may have thought about this once having faced side effects, or once having seen such side effects among people around and so on. What do you think? What I'm saying makes sense, or am I dividing the population unnecessarily like politicians do? Am I a politician? No, I'm not a politician, but it just struck me and I'm sharing with you. Does this make sense to you? Let me know. I mean, you have the right to abuse me for having thrown such an idea at you and having made you think of such an idea. If you've heard me for so long in the 8th minute of this video, you can abuse me also. It's all right. I don't mind it, but it just struck me and I had to share it with you. Thank you, and see you sometime very, very soon again.